Hello, it's Chris and Derek here, working on the 69 Fury. Was looking at starting to figure out how I can make a quarter, but the rust goes behind the bumper, so I didn't want to take the bumper off, but we're going to have to take the bumper off. The bumper bolts going into the frame, no go, because originally we weren't going to deal with the bumper, so we did. When we had the frame open, we didn't deal with it, and I just tried one with a socket or a breaker bar and impact. No, not going to happen. So I tried. The secondary is tried to loosen off all these bolts. I got one loosened, then it started just spinning in the bumper. The square shank just started spinning, so that's no go. So we're drilling them out. We'll drill them, and it was either drilling that or cut the bumper brackets in half and weld it back together. So seems to be the more safe.
Yeah, that cost a bit more for bumper bolts, but I knew the shit, so
we already did one. We drilled a pilot hole and then a bigger one.
I found center and marked the center, and he drilled it, and then he step drilled it.
Yeah, drilling it with three different size bits. So.
Yeah, taking your time.
Give it some lube. Okay, so we've drilled it 3 times. It's in there right now. And Derek's just gonna take a big ass chisel and a big ass hammer.
Forward hammer.
And hammer it a few times.
And not hurt the bumper.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes. If it doesn't, then we might have to drill it more. There we go.
There you go. And it didn't hurt the bumper.
Nope. Nope. Good enough. Now we just got to do that, what, 6 more times?
There's another one here for you. You got to step out.
Yeah. I got to drill that one, that one, and there's one over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mark those ones down for you.
Yep. Time consuming, but it's got to happen to make it happen.
Well, it's the easiest way without doing a whole pile of modification.
Yeah. More work than I wanted to do on this car.
But I can't weld behind the bumper.
Yeah.
And I can't just leave a half-ass thing like that.
Yeah, because there's all that in there, and yeah. So.
Like I said, if we were smarter when we had the frame rails open,
yeah,
we would have cleaned that bolt
well,
out.
Yeah.
We made a decision we were never going to touch the bumper.
And it was very rusted under there. It was. We would have had to probably torch the bolts out and put a new plate in, do everything. Yeah. But
oh, well.
Okay. Yeah, we'll drill the rest out and pop the bumper off. Oh, one interesting thing. I popped these out. Well, I unscrewed them. It's still hanging there. What I found is I found my missing bumper. It was sitting in the light. It even has all the part numbers written there. That one's all worn off, so I got an NOS rubber bumper sitting in the backup light for some reason. Figure that. Should have had the camera rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, got the bumper off, as you can see. It was a pain in the butt drilling all those bumper bolts, but it was better than trying to get behind here, and we could have torched them off, but that you can't get the torch up in here. We would have had to torch them from the outside, and I didn't want to chance wrecking the bumper. Chiseling the heads off, we didn't barely scratch the bumper. We mostly drilled all the bolt out, so it'll just hit it a couple times, they come off.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right there once you drill them out. You give them a smack with the chisel and the head breaks.
Yeah, so we'll just buy new bolts. That's not an issue. I didn't even know this wasn't even there. Some little rubber flap. That's
seems to be in good shape. We can clean that up, give it a shot of paint back there.
And now we can actually paint good in here. It's just an extra step I didn't want to do, but and we also have to repair this one. It's
pretty tough shape.
Yeah. And repair, I mean slap some steel over top of it and weld it.
Yeah, no one's going to see it. As long as it holds the light, the backup light was fine.
And I cut my quarter panel out.
Right there. We'll clean the rust off of it. Don't worry.
It's got some rust, but
we'll clean it.
And the highest point of rust is there. So what we're going to do is we'll take our notching tool and notch this edge. Scribe our line where we want to cut it, fit this underneath, something like that. That'll go underneath this. We'll start screwing that, and then we'll start
forming it in.
We don't have our English wheel here. It's at Corey's. Otherwise, I would put this through the English wheel, get a little bit of bend, but it's not that much of a bend curve. I think I can curve it with this piece, and we can curve it with, we're going to leave this inner piece, just start clamping and fitting it on there. Then it's got to go underneath here and get tack weld. Then this doesn't matter because it has to be built anyways. So I think I can get away with just basically screwing that on there and gently forming it in there. At least that's the plan. We don't want, it should be flexible. I don't want to be able to push that in like that. That's the problem, but there's enough here, and I only have to go down like that much here. That much is rotted off, like a half an inch, so there's still a bit there, so we'll try it. If it doesn't work, then we just unscrew it. We go get the English wheel and stick it through the English wheel and curve it a little bit.
And do it two times.
Yeah.
But at least once we master this side, the passenger side will be easier.
But, yeah. And again, this isn't going to be perfect.
No.
It's not going to be a perfect car, so that's the way I'm going to attempt to do it. It's straight. It's fairly straight this way. It probably has a little bit of curve, but yeah, we'll get rid of all this crap. Leave the inner as a guide. Then we'll figure out where we're gonna put this. We'll make our we'll crimp it, and we'll scribe our line and cut it and go from there.
All right.
Okay, so off camera we did a little bit of thinking. We figured that if we just screwed this in and tried to push it in, this would stay flat. It's too short of a piece to attempt to curve it. So we ran out to Corey's, grabbed the English wheel, and working it a bit. As you can see, it's not flat anymore. Still needs a little bit, We helped it a bit on the edge. The edge seemed fine. It's right in the middle. And since I wasn't planning on using the English wheel, it's not large enough to do it normally. Normally you put it in and you work it back and forth. We've just been working it one way, bringing it back, going on another line, bringing it back. That's so it gets right to the edge, right to this edge. Because normally when you're bringing it back and forth, you leave about that much, or I'm no expert either, but you leave about that much, and then that's sort of flat, and then once you're relatively close, you basically cut off that end. At least that's the way I did it in the past. But I cut this a little short, so we've just been sliding it through. There we go. Sliding it all the way through, making sure it goes fairly straight.
Controlling it.
Yeah. And not getting my fingers pinched.
Oh no. And keeping it fairly straight as possible.
Yeah. Do a little bit more there.
We're not English wheel professional people here.
No. We've used this thing maybe.
Well, we made some pretty complicated stuff on your Hudson.
Oh yeah. That was a fluke, I think.
Well, it was on the second time.
Yeah.
And that was a very complicated piece, and we did it. I'll take it. We're not in a race.
Okay. Well, I think it's looking fairly good, and since the bottoms here is gone, we've been doing is we figured that this is roughly the same.
See, you can see there. Pretty. We're getting pretty close to the edge, what we want.
It's just in the English wheel also, when depending on how you hold it, it curves it this way.
Yeah.
But that can be straightened out.
We can fix that.
We can straighten that out. So I think that's pretty damn close to where we need it to be.
I think we need to do is start scribing where we're going to permanently put it,
Yeah.
and then work from there.
Yeah, and start hacking that out, and yeah. Somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah.
I think that's actually pretty good.
Actually, that's pretty damn close. I'm really liking that curve.
Yeah, and that doesn't do anything when
No.
push that in, so, and then that's up against. So I think that's where we're not going to do it work it anymore. We'll just start hacking that, and we'll seam that to fit underneath and go from there.
Yeah.
Going a little high.
Not that straight.
Oh.
I just slice it right here and take this chunk out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good start.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to, we'll cut this. There's a body line right here. We'll just cut it along there and weld it along there, I think. And then we'll have to get rid of this crap, and there's spot welds all down there, and we'll get rid of this stuff right there, clean it up, and then we'll start test fitting our piece.
Yeah. Yay. Good things are happening.
Yeah, things happen. Okay, we got enough curve in it. We've trimmed what we need to, cleaned up that. It's still longer than it needs to be. It's still longer. So, but what we're gonna do is use his crimping tool, as you can see that one, and put a crimp in there. So then that will slide behind the panel here. In theory.
And make sure you got it the right way.
Yeah.
So.
This, I think, is one of the better tools we have, actually, because it does two things. That's the crimp, and then that's a hole puncher for doing plug wells. It just...
It's a good multi-tool.
Yeah.
It really doesn't take that much air.
No.
It would be easier if I had it on a table.
Oh, yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Hard to tell, but there is actually a crimp there.
Yeah. Well, I might have to tuck that up.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll go right there.
All right, I'll let you do that. This is what we did. We just cleaned this up. A little bit of rust there. No problem. See, it's going to go underneath there. Weld on here. Then we'll have to, for right now, it's just going to hang down. We're going to have to trim it and then bend it either on the car or after we get it. We'll either use clecos or screws here and then figure out all that, take it off, and then bend it and put it back on. One of the two. Same with the front there. We're gonna have to play with it a bit. And this will actually stiffen the panel up a bit.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Just enough to relieve it back there.
Yep. We're gonna have to cut the end off because that won't fit in there.
You want it to go up like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to cut that little end piece off there. Same with, we got plenty here. We're gonna have to cut that and hopefully leave enough there because we're not exactly sure how far it goes down, but
Right. Well, actually, we're like this.
yeah.
The way it's going. I'm pretty happy how it's all fitting. So.
Okay, so
And I'm just judging. I'm going by the bottom how the rocker panel and the door is. So.
yeah. Okay, we'll nibble that off. We'll cut that off. Slide it in. Put a couple holes.
Yeah.
Either use clecos or screws, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever we find.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, this is what we've got. We've got it clecoed on. It's the vice grip on that end. It's got a nice curve. It's longer than it should be because we still have to trim it and then put a 45-degree to connect with the inner fender well, and we have to figure out this because that needs to be just cut off, and then we have to duplicate that and the inside.
Yeah, figure out how far we gotta go down.
Yeah, and we're not exactly sure how far to go down because both sides are rusted, so we're gonna make an educated guess.
Yeah.
Well, we're using clecos. If you haven't seen a cleco, Derek can show you it.
Just like this guy. You put it in your plier, cleco plier. Open it up. You get it an 1/8 hole, and then you can see it spreads. And then it bring both pieces of metal nice and tight.
Yeah.
Just
We drill the
already pre-drilled a
little
hole.
H-hole, little hole. And then since that's pretty much level right there.
Yeah. It's got a real nice flow to it.
And using clecos like this, it's just easier. Like we could use self-tapping screws, but we're probably going to be pulling this off a couple times. And with self-tapping screws, you'll be making more holes.
Yeah, you end up making holes. And it's just spend a little more time to use cleco.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with self-tapping screws, but
No, but yeah, just because we're gonna have to figure out that end, cut it, well, take it off, cut it, put it back on, see how it fits, and then we're gonna have to figure out the bottom where it has to go. Mark it, take it off, cut it, and put it back on. See where the bend needs to go. Take it off.
and
a couple times.
We have to make the trunk extension pan to mate up to this.
Yeah.
So we got to make the pan in here to mate up to here. So
Yeah.
it's going to be coming off many times.
Yeah.
So. Spend a little bit of time to do it.
Yep. But yeah, I'm actually very liking that.
We got the tools and maybe we'll use them once in a while.
Looking good right now.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. This is just take your time at it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Don't rush.
Yep. Yeah, you probably could. Well, if you didn't have an English wheel, you probably could just form it over a big pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start off with a bigger piece and then make it smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say everybody can have an English wheel and stuff going around.
But we're no expert. That's not a fancy English wheel either. That's a
backyard mechanic people.
Yeah, it's a Princess Auto or a Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Those.
We got 5 of us, so we're all able to pitch in and buy something big. So it's just not one guy paying for it all.
It comes in handy.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna leave this. Oops. Hacking up along with all the rust in the ground. We'll leave this as a video here. So thanks for watching, and we'll get back our next video, we'll actually fit that in 100% and
finish it.
maybe, yeah, finish it. Tack weld it in, and yeah.
Not bad.
Yep. So thanks for watching, and as always, comment, subscribe, and tell us how much you love this big boat. More is coming. Yeah, it's big. All right, see you on the next one.